Buongiorno studenti. Let's talk about a word that Italian people seem to use a lot, and that word is magari. What does magari mean exactly, and how do you use it properly? Now, this confuses a lot of students since magari can have multiple meanings. So today what I'm going to do is that I'm going to teach you those different meanings and how to distinguish between them easily so that you will be able to use magari perfectly in your next Italian conversation. Before we begin, for this lesson I prepared a PDF version that you can download for free. Just click on the link in the description. Ok, iniziamo. Let's begin. So, the Italian word magari, let me spell it out for you. Magari essentially has three different meanings, three different usages in Italian, and you need to be aware of all of them. So, the first meaning, significato numero uno, is perhaps or maybe. Now, with this meaning, with the meaning of perhaps or maybe, magari is used mostly when you are suggesting or proposing something. The meaning is almost identical to the word forse, which is the general word in Italian for maybe or perhaps. So what is the difference between magari and forse? There's essentially no difference, just the fact that magari gives you a little bit more of emotion. It shows a little bit more emotion. So forse is kind of more factual. Forse, maybe, perhaps. Magari is like saying maybe or perhaps, but with a tad bit more emotion. Now let's see this in action with a couple sentences of example. Ok, andiamo. So let me show you this first sentence. I'm going to type it first so you can try to guess what that means. Ok. Magari potremmo andare al cinema domani. Magari potremmo andare al cinema domani. So in this sentence, what we're saying is that we are proposing, suggesting going to the movies tomorrow. So this in English would be maybe or perhaps we could go to the movies tomorrow. Instead of saying forse potremmo andare al cinema domani, which is perfectly correct, we're picking magari because we want to give a little bit more emotion in proposing this. Va bene? Okay, let's see another example sentence. Another one could be magari lo chiamo domani. Magari lo chiamo domani. Maybe I'm going to call him tomorrow. Again, in this sentence, magari is used with the meaning of perhaps or maybe, but we just pick magari to give it a little bit more of emotion rather than using forse lo chiamo domani. Va bene? So this is the first meaning of magari, the meaning of perhaps or maybe. Let's move on to meaning number 2, significato numero 2. Okay. In this case, magari means I'd wish or I'd love to. That's the meaning, the second meaning of magari. Now, when we use magari with this meaning is because we want to show an enthusiastic reaction or a strong desire to something that has been told to you. So in this case, we are not expressing uncertainty like in maybe or perhaps. We are showing desire. Like we want to say, oh, I'd wish or I'd love to. And usually this is our response to someone else proposing something to you. Let me show you this with a couple of examples. let's suppose someone asking you, ti piacerebbe andare in vacanza in Italia? Let's add quest'anno? Ti piacerebbe andare in vacanza in Italia quest'anno? So someone is asking you if you would like to go on holiday on vacation in Italy this year. Well, what would you reply? If you would like to reply, I wish, then you can use magari. Magari. That's the second meaning of magari. I wish, I love to. Ti piacerebbe andare in vacanza in Italia quest'anno? Magari. I'd wish, I'd love to. Now, most of the times when it's used with this meaning to show desire or yes, of an enthusiastic reaction, you can just say magari, and that's it, just magari. Like you would say, I'd wish, I'd love to. But you can also add more to your enthusiastic reaction. So you could say, magari è sempre, let me type it first. Magari è sempre stato il mio sogno. It has always been my dream. So this is the second meaning of magari. Now let's see another example sentence with this second meaning that shows desire. Okay, let's suppose someone asks you this sentence. Okay. Volete il tiramisù per cena? Do you know what tiramisù is? Tiramisù is an Italian dessert. Molto buono, very good, with chocolate, coffee, lot of good stuff. So let's suppose someone is asking you and someone else, do you, plural, volete il tiramisù per cena? Do you want tiramisù for dinner as a dessert? What would you reply to that? Magari. I'd wish, I'd love to, magari. È il mio dolce preferito. So someone is proposing you something and you want to accept enthusiastically, then use magari. Volete il tiramisù per cena? Magari è il mio dolce preferito. Okay, this was meaning number 2. Now let's move on to meaning number 3. Significato numero 3 per magari. This is also very different from the two previous ones. Because in this case, in the third meaning, magari means if only. And so in this case, magari is used to express regret. So this is completely different from the two previous ones. And now you can definitely see why magari is so confusing. 3 very different meanings. You can use it for something that's not certain, like perhaps or maybe. You can use it to express an enthusiastic reaction, a desire, but you can also use to express regret. So in this instance, magari means if only. So since it's used to express regret, keep in mind that when used with this meaning, usually it's followed by subjunctive. So in this case, using magari is a way again to show more emotion and show a stronger regret, a stronger disappointment than using se. Because in Italian, se means if and can also be used also as if only, but magari, as always, is stronger. It shows a stronger emotion. That's why we pick it. So let me show you a few examples here too. Let's suppose we want to say someone regrets not studying enough for their exam. How would a person say that if they want to show a lot of regret? They would say, magari avessi studiato di più, avrei superato l'esame. If only I had studied more, I would have passed the exam. Magari avessi studiato di più. Avrei superato l'esame. Okay, let's see another example of this usage of magari, which means if only, so expresses regret. Let's suppose someone wants to say, if only I had more free time to devote myself to my passions, to dedicate to my passions. That's the perfect sentence to use magari, because you are expressing regret and you want to show this emotion in it, of regretting it, of being disappointed by the fact that you cannot do that. So this is the perfect example for magari. That in Italian would be magari avessi più tempo libero per dedicarmi alle mie passioni. If only I could have more free time to devote myself, that's how we say that, dedicarmi, to devote myself to my passions. So even in this case, we're expressing a regret, a disappointment in not being able to do something, or we could also use this for something that we didn't do. In both cases, I want you to notice that we're using subjunctive. So magari avessi studiato di più, if only I had studied more, or magari avessi più tempo libero, if only I had more free time. What if you don't know how to use the subjunctive or you forget about it? Don't worry, you can still use magari with this meaning. It will be a tiny mistake considering you're learning Italian, but start using magari today, even if you don't know subjunctive yet. Don't let this stop you. Ok ragazzi, there you have it. Magari demystified. Remember these three meanings, these three specific meanings of magari, which are maybe, desire, and regret, and you will be able to use it like a pro-native Italian speaker. Also, don't forget to download the PDF that accompanies this lesson, because it's going to be very helpful for you to review this lesson and review all the example sentences that we saw together. So just click in the link that you find in the description for this PDF. And also, if you want, you can share your sentences with magari in a comment below this video. So leave me a comment with your phrases and let me know if you like this video. That's all for today. Buona giornata e a presto. Ciao da Valentina.